Hi there, my name is Steve Gerhardt and this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. This is the final installment of Where to Eat for Otakon 2022. This is where I'm going to show you some of the places you can eat. We'll get to that soon enough. We're going to talk about a couple other things first, and to start off everything, just to let you guys know, next week I will not be making a video in preparation for Otakon, so this will be the video that you see next week. Also, there will be links to the other two previous installments of this little series down below, among other things. Another thing that you should probably watch, that a link will be down below, is the fact that we finally did our summer season of new shows. We kind of sat down, watched them, and gave our thoughts on it at the weekly dig. So that link will be down below. You might want to check that out as well. If you haven't known already, the Otakon has its schedule up, so go check that out. And I'm going to stop blathering here, and we're going to start on with the rest of the video. So as you can tell by the pictures, there is a tent city of homeless people on church grounds. Those pictures, the location of that tent city is, in case this is your first time going to Otakon, is just down the block. So if you were to leave or go outside or wait in line outside the main entrance to the convention center on Mount Vernon Square, it's to the right. So, just be aware of that. Convention security usually does a good job. They did in 2017. From what I hear, they've been doing the same thing since, which is keeping as many of these guys away from anyone who's using the convention center as much as possible. So your interaction with them at that point should be minimal, but I just wanted you to be aware that they exist there, and if they're not going to be there, they're going to be in another place, which I'll get to in a moment. How do you deal with these homeless people? Do you give them money? Do you give them food? Because you're probably a wonderfully nice person and you're awesome, and that's what you want to do for these people, these poor people. And the answer is, please, for the love of Ghibli, don't do that. There's a lot of reasons why not to. First and foremost, they're getting that kind of care from the church grounds that they're on. Okay, not only that, but there are plenty of other areas nearby the convention center that offers food, clothing, shelter to the homeless. So these are things that they can get elsewhere. What they're really looking for from you is cash money. A lot of these, unfortunately, homeless people, they have addictions. Most of it's going to be alcohol, a few drug related. But, this is the kind of thing where if you give them money, it's not going to be spent on food, most likely. Maybe they will, but most likely not. They're going to spend it on other things. And, you might say, well, that's a trope, that's a myth. When you live in the city long enough, when you live in two different cities like DC and Baltimore long enough, you realize it's unfortunately not a myth. That's a reality. So don't give them money, don't give them food, and because it's available at least the food part is available to them in another way. The whole reason, again, like I said, the whole reason why they're even asking you for anything is for cash, really. And the other reason why you don't want to give them anything is because they will target you for the rest of the time that you're at the convention. So as you are coming and going from the convention, they're going to be looking for you. And if you give it to them once, they figure they're going to give it to them again. And they're going to go and they're going to be a little bit aggressive about it. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean that they're going to be physically assaulting you or anything like that. It's just that they're going to be like, hey, you gave me money the other day, why don't you give me money now? And they'll try and guilt you into it. And if you do give them money and you do give them food, there will be other homeless that you're not aware of that are watching the transaction, and then they're going to come up to you, and that's going to happen as well. So while you are a lovely person, you're lovely people, you're awesome, and you want to help these poor souls out, because they are poor souls, the best thing you can do is to say, no, I'm sorry, please go to the church. that lets them know that you're not going to give them money, you're not going to give them food, you're not going to give them anything, but you have empathy and you're telling them where to go to get the things. So don't engage. That's the other part. Don't engage in a conversation. By that, I mean you keep walking. Don't stop. Just keep walking. If someone asks you for money, you don't stop. You say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have any cash for you. And you just keep walking. You keep moving. Because when you stop, you will be engaged in a conversation that will go on forever. Because this is the first time that someone's actually acknowledged their existence. I know it's sad to say that. But someone has acknowledged their existence and they need that human contact. Again, I know you're wonderful, lovely people, but unless you're willing to, give up your Otakon time, you're going to be stuck with this person. And it's always going to end in that awkward, hey, can you give me some money? Okay, that's how it's going to end each and every time. So just be aware of that. The unfortunate thing this year, when I went down to do, make a couple videos and, take a bunch of pictures of stuff, where to eat for Otakon. This is something that's never happened to me since Otakon moved to 2017, in 2017 down to DC. And that is this. As you go down 7th Street, you're going to see towards the arena, you're going to see more and more and more homeless. The reason why they're pushed down that way is because there are security people who are just like, move along, move along, move along. So as you get closer to the arena, there's going to be a more and more larger presence of homeless people. Most of these guys are going to come from that tent city. But the reason why they're on 7th Street is because that's where the restaurants are, where the delis are, where the bars are. So they're going to be out there asking for money. Normally there's always homeless around, right? But just, when I went down there this year, it just seemed to be such a concentrated mass of them. They were literally sitting with their backs against the signposts on the corners of each street. They're walking around yelling at people, that kind of a thing. I had one where I said, sorry, I don't have any money for you, and kept walking, and he was, I don't know what he was thinking, but he, just slapped me on the back and said, all right. And that's, for me, that's a fight response. And I'm glad I was with Brent, because that kind of toned my reaction down a little bit. But the point being is that this is the first time that it was like I considered it to be a problem, like an actual legitimate problem. So as you're going now, I feel that as the convention is going, that there'll be a larger police presence down there that'll be telling these guys to move along. But one of the things that we also did come across was that when we were sitting in one of the restaurants that we ate at, which I'm going to showcase in the video later on, we actually had a couple of people come in and ask for money, like actually come into the restaurant and start asking people for money. That's a very rare thing to do. I've seen that happen before in Baltimore. But again, it's like a handful of times in my life that I've actually seen that. So I don't know how it's going to look. My educated guess is that the police will have a presence and they'll be telling them to move along. They're going to be keeping an eye on things. So I don't think it's going to be that bad for you. But if you're coming in on Thursday, and you want to get some food and you go down there, be prepared for people asking you for money and then walking 10 feet and having another person ask you for money. Just be prepared for that. Okay, enough about the homelessness. Let's go on to some con tips, and then we're going to go on to where to eat for Otakon 2022. Okay, so just a few con tips for you guys, especially if this is your first time coming to Otakon or to DC in general. Just like Baltimore, Washington, DC is stupid hot and humid. So make sure you hydrate. Have a bottle of water on you at all times when you are walking around outside, because it is, again, stupid hot and humid. I can't tell you how many times over the years, as we're waiting to get inside the convention center, that I've seen someone, usually in heavy cosplay, just kind of like go, fall or slug over to the side because they're not hydrated enough. They don't have enough water and they get dehydrated and they start to pass out. what usually happens in that situation is that people pull out their cell phones, they take pictures or a video, and then they go, oh, do you need help? So just be aware that if that happens to you, you'll be on YouTube at some point. So you don't want that, so make sure you hydrate. Also, as you're going to be waiting in line for a bag check or to get into the convention or for whatever reason outside, don't get drunk, okay? Because again, stupid hot, stupid humidity, and alcohol is something that will leach out the water from your body and it'll make you dehydrate more quickly. And again, you'll boom and wind up on YouTube. Plus, you'll look like a fool when you're drunk in line, and nobody wants that. So don't do that. Stay hydrated, please, please, please. Stay hydrated. Another thing to take into consideration, I've already mentioned this before, but I feel like it bears further another mention, which is if you have cosplay and you have a weapon that is part of your cosplay, whether it be a sword, an axe, or something that looks like a rifle or a pistol, it can be futuristic, but if it looks like one, it is probably a good idea to pack it into a big box and carry it with you if you can't break it down and reassemble inside the convention center. The reason for that, again, is because people in DC are hyper aware, particularly the authorities, are hyper aware of anyone that looks like they're carrying a firearm. This is the nation's capital. A lot of important people here. So if you're running around with what looks like a huge 50 cal, like some characters have that as part of their armament, there's going to be a phone call made to the police, and the police might come up to you and go, we need to talk to you. You don't want to do that. So if you, at all possible, break it down, take it with you inside the convention center and put it together, that's probably the best thing to do. Otherwise, hide it in a box so people don't know what it is that you're carrying. So speaking more to cosplay, as you are outside, because it is stupid hot and humid, the more complex and heavy your cosplay may be, it kind of suffocates you. Not suffocates you, but like if you have a helmet and heavy gear on, that kind of stuff, try to put most of that on inside the convention center where it's air conditioned. Don't wear that around. You will get unbearably hot inside of it, and it's hard to cool down when you're already inside of something. You're hot and you go to AC. The AC doesn't automatically get to you. So just keep that in mind as you're cosplaying. When you're inside the convention center cosplaying, this particular convention center, what Otakon has been doing has been to... See, you don't want that sound coming after you if you're walking around with your prop gun. You don't want that sound. Anyway, so there are places within the convention center that Otakon has set aside as photograph areas, and this is to help people keep moving through the convention center. What's nice about the DC Convention Center is that it's big. It's not like the BCC where things can get jammed up pretty quickly when that happens. And it's also nice that you can actually have designated areas where you can just go do the thing and not have to worry about somebody coming up going, okay guys, you gotta move along, you can't stay there, come on. And I think that's a bonus. I think that's a Benny. So just keep that in mind, and also be aware of your cosplay as you are moving around. Sometimes it gets pretty bulky, and sometimes you kind of put somebody's eye out by accident if you're not watching where you're moving your shoulder or your gun or your sword or your wand or whatever it is. So to that effect, taking pictures of cosplayers. Let's talk about that for a second. This is kind of important. In this day and age, it's very important to get permission. Permission is always good to get. Even when you walk up to a group of people taking a picture of someone, it's just always nice to just have your camera in hand and look at the person and go, like, you don't even have to say anything, just kind of go, is this okay? And they'll go, yeah, sure, and then take the picture. If the person is with an adult, let's say a young person with an adult, ask the adult, okay? So if they're okay with you taking pictures of their kid or the person that they're in charge of. That's very important because a lot of parents don't like it when you just go, oh, your kid's so cute, and you take pictures and you're like a big guy, and that's just, it's, they're wondering why are you taking pictures of my 5-year-old? Why are you doing that? So make sure you get permission. And if the permission turns out to be no, you can't, respect it and move on. And just say, okay, sure, no problem. And just go on to the next thing. So be respectful with your photography. Be respectful. Get permission before you take a picture, because you never know the age of the person that you're taking a picture of, and you never know if daddy is standing right there, and if daddy is like 6 foot tall and 6'5" and a bodybuilder, and he's ready to crush your head like a raisin. So, you know, just get the permission. It's just helpful. So the last thing that I really want to talk about in terms of convention, or no, actually two things that I want to talk about in terms of cons, particularly in Otakon. First one is, and I know I've mentioned it before, and I've alluded to it year after year after year, and I make videos and throw it up all the time. Otakon has lines. It just does. I don't know why they're organized the way that they are, but they are. So there's a lot of lines involved here, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. You know, I've been in lines, plenty of lines where people are just like, if I don't get in, there's gonna be a riot. Calm down. There will be no riot. You will suck it up and you will move on if you don't get into wherever it is that you need to get into. The best way to make sure that you get into the thing that you want to get into, whether it be a panel, a release, whatever it is that you want to get into, make sure that you will have plenty of time to get there, to get as far front in the line as possible. Some years are better than others, but there doesn't seem to be any consistency at Otakon in terms of line management. It is something that they are always working on, I can tell you that. So don't give them too much crap. You know, that's, you know, they give their guys maybe a day of training, and that's all they get. And because of time, circumstance, and cost, which a lot of people don't understand, that actually costs money to do that. And so just be aware of that and be nice. Just be nice. It's not their fault that there's a line that you want to be to the thing that you want to go to. So just be nice and just, you know, thank God you have a cell phone or a tablet or whatever it is that with you online. Maybe you just hit up the dealer's room and you've got 5 manga to read, right? Okay, so deal with the lines. Just deal with it, suck it up, buttercup, and deal with it. All right, last thing I want to talk about, and this is mostly to my fellow gender of males. Fanboy Funk. I understand you want to get to convention, you want to get there early, you want to get there on, you know, to do the thing. Nobody wants to smell you. You do not smell good. You need at least to put on deodorant. Brushing your teeth is a positive. Okay? But ideally, you're going to take a shower, you're going to brush your teeth, and you're going to put on deodorant. And so that you don't have to offend people with your funk, with your smell, with your body smell. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes it, because there are going to be places like the AMV contest where we're all going to be in this room together. And do you think it's really fair for other people to smell you? Now, you're going to be nose blind to yourself, so that's, you know, you're going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Trust me, you smell. You smell. You smell. You're a guy. You smell. Biologically speaking, your guys do things that make them smell. Just merely existing makes us smell. So, please, for the love of Ghibli, take a shower, put on deodorant, and make yourself presentable at Otakon. Because you never know. You never know. There might be that one time, that time you go to Otakon, where you meet that girl. And she looks at you, and you have a shared interest. You're both there for anime, right? You're both kind of otaku. And maybe she finds you attractive. And then she gets one step towards you, and she smells you. And she smells you. And she's just like, never mind. So, I'm just saying, that's a possibility. That could happen for you. Only if you wash. Only if you wash. So, anyway, that is the deal for some of the con tips. If you guys got any questions about more concepts, various things, kind of like dealer's room and stuff like that, ask me down below, and I'll try to put it out there. The one thing I'll say about the dealer's room, I know things have changed since 2017, so I'm pretty sure that it's still in that expansive place. That's wonderful, but to get down there, you have to go down that one escalator, and the guys are going to tell you to keep moving so that you don't bunch up at the top there, because it's really easy to bunch up. Just do it. Just go down the escalator. Don't stand there and try and take a picture. Just do the thing. Okay, let's get on to what we're here for. Where to eat for Otakon 2022. Okay, so what we're here for, where to eat for Otakon 2022. The whole reason why I do this is because sometimes the convention sells stuff. They'll sell snacks and they'll sell sodas, and they'll actually have actual meals that you can buy there at the if I remember correctly, at the Washington Convention Center. It's down in the dealer's room, but they tend to be really expensive, like really over the top pricing. It's just like way more than you really want to pay. And while the food might be better at the Washington D.C. Convention Center than it was in Baltimore we had this like sludge meat put onto like old buns. It was just really nasty, and we were told to pay like an absorbent amount of money for it. While the food there for the meals are better in terms of quality, unfortunately it is a lot of money. So if you're going to spend that money, maybe you want something a little bit better. That's why I do these videos. So if you want to leave the convention center and go to places nearby that are affordable, and that's the other point to this, is that in this video I'm just showing you what I think are the closest and more cheaper places to eat for Otakon 2022. There are other restaurants in the immediate area. There are other bars, there are other delis and things like that in the area. They do exist, and I believe Otakon will put that in their little guidebook and things like that. The thing is that they're usually a lot more expensive, and they might be just a little bit farther than you want to go. So that's why I do these videos. A couple things. I already talked about the homeless, but Chinatown seems to be on the mend. There's still things that are closed down, but last year, if you remember me saying, maybe stay inside the convention center, because Chinatown is like really, and 7th Street is really kind of not a thing. It seems to be getting better. It seems to be, getting healthier now that COVID is letting up. So there's new restaurants and things down there. They're still healing, by the way. So there's not a whole lot still down there, but there's definitely more than there was last year. And the amount of crap you have to go through in Chinatown has lessened. So there is that. So, there is one particular restaurant in 7th Street that I'm going to showcase, that Brent and I went into, that we really enjoyed, and we'll let you know what that is when you see it. But having said all that, let's do the video. Where to eat for Otakon 2022. Enjoy. Okay, so that's it for Where to Eat for Otakon 2022. I hope these videos have been informative for you. Again, if you got any other questions, please ask me down below if you're happening to watch this on YouTube, or if this is over on the Otakon BBS. Wherever you may be seeing this, please ask me a question. I will try to answer it for you prior to the convention. Again, you know, kind of follow the rules, convention rules, and everyone's going to have a good time. Myself, Brent, and John, the three of us who do the weekly dig, that's our weekly anime kind of review that we do every week over at Anime Archaeology. The three of us are going to be together doing Otakon this year, and actually Brent is doing 6 panels, I think. So if you happen to see a panel done by Brent P. Newhall, please show up and give him some love and take part in his panels. He does really, really good informative panels. And of course, John and I will be there giving him support, so you'll see us there as well. So if you see us, actually, see me or the rest of us together, please come up and say hi. I would very much like to meet you. It's been 5 years since I've been able to get to an Otakon, so you know, if you happen to see me and you're just like, hey, I've seen your show or whatever, or I've seen you on the weekly dig, please say hi to me. I would love it if you did. That would be really, really cool, because again, I'd like to meet as many of you as I can. So that would be awesome. So keep an eye out for us. We'll be walking around, we'll be doing the things, we'll be taking pictures. I'll also be taking pictures. And to that effect, on Sunday night after Otakon at the weekly dig, the link will be down below, we are going to give our initial review of Otakon 2022, so be aware of that. So yeah, that was it. Again, I'm not going to post a video on the Tuesday before Otakon. The previous 2 installments, the links are down below. And I hope to see you guys there. Love you, and let's have a great time at Otakon. See you there.